this is Victor, and here with a new Blast from the Past. And this time we are going to make a look on the Codex 3rd edition, and the next one that was I think 6th edition if I'm not wrong, from the Dark Eldar or Dvukari. So this is the Spanish version of the Dvukari 3rd edition Codex, and you will see that in the 3rd edition the codexes were quite slim. Okay, they have been always soft covers until we arrive, I think, to 7th edition is when they start with the hardcover codexes. Don't remember, I think it was 7th or 6th. Okay, we're talking here about, let me see if I can see the number of pages. 42 here, so it's about 45 pages, 46, and I'm going to show you what we had inside. Okay, so as you can see, the codex, most of the codex was in black and white. Okay, there was not full color as today, soft cover, and this is how the miniatures were painted in this period of time. You can see green background, green bases, and we only had 25mm bases and this big flying base. Okay, this was the only one. Yeah, and as you can see, the beasts were only this type of beast at the moment of time, and they were on square bases. They were put on cavalry square bases. At that moment, yeah, the square bases, they had more sizes, but for the round bases, the choices were limited. Even the Terminators were in 25mm bases in this period of time, so you can imagine how this have evolved over time. Here we have a Talos, here we have some elves, and then we have Cavalite Warriors, Archon, and this is Rackard, Uriel Rackard, the first version, if I'm not wrong. Okay, and here we have some Ultramarines. So just showing a battle. All the terrain here was normally excavated built at the period of time, except these things. These things were coming in the starter kit of the 3rd edition. Okay, so we had an introduction. They told you what you can find. They talk about how to make a list of army. Everything was more chaotic at that time. We had background mix all the time with rules. Okay, can you see? And this was the different units we had at the moment. So we have the Dark Eldar command. So with the can be an Archon or the Bacchant. We have the Homunculus, and then we have the Skull. The bodyguard, sorry, of the Eldar commander. Okay, so normally what and this bodyguard was you were able to put cavalry warriors, incubis, or one incubi. And you can see. So what's here is the incubis. They start as a bodyguard that was not even a unit, so was part of the Dark Eldar commander. Okay, only 2 options, well, 3 options because this is double. Okay, and the points you can see, we start with the points were put there, and then you have to add the equipment as to them. Then we have the grotesques. I think there's I need to check because the names may have evolved, but I think these are the grotesques. The mandrakes here. The old mandrakes were very different. The witch elves. So we have the succubus was part of the unit at the moment of time. So you can see witch elf did not have a commander option. And then we have the beast pack from the what's called the warp beast pack. As the troops, we used to have just the warriors and then the rider, as that was the base. No, we have the warriors and the riders, and the difference is the riders used to have a rider as a dedicated vehicle, while these ones did not have a rider as a dedicated vehicle. The dedicated vehicles were much more limited in this period of time. Only the units that has in the list were able to take it as a dedicated transport. Okay, so for example, the witch elves or witch elder, you were able to take it because the incursor was, or the raider was an option here. Okay, same for the raiders here, but if you were taking just regular Kabalite warriors, this was not an option, so you were not able to take the Raider as a dedicated transport. We had the Reavers here, the Aliens, and Aliens were limited to 1 unit per army, so you can see that some units were limited, like the Beastpacks, 1 unit per army. And then as a heavy support we have how it's called, these Scourges. Then we had here I always forget the name of this thing, the shooting vehicle. Let me see here if I don't to check the English version. Sorry for that. How it's called is the Ravager. Okay, the Devastador is the Ravager and the Talos. Okay, you see these were all the options, and we have played like that. So this was early 2000 or 90 something, 98. So we went from 98, so we did all the 3rd edition, all the 4th edition, all the 5th edition, and part of the 6th edition with this codex, okay? So you can imagine Dark Eldar were quite limited in the later editions. Here we have the description of all the equipment. So really some equipment had long descriptions. Today this was the equipment in that moment of time. You were paying points and you were putting the equipment to the different characters. Okay. Some equipment was very basic, some other was more complicated. And here they explain from the alien glider to anything. So here was explained how all the equipment was working. So here is telling you how to collect on Dark Eldar. You can see in that moment also the pictures were quite, we did not have big armies in the pictures, so not as big as we have today. And here it's showing you what is the minimum, right? 2 units of Kabalite warriors and 1 Archon of Vacant. And here is how you can increase. And you can see some meters were quite goofy. These were the all Scourges. They have things that improve a lot. And these were the all Dark Eldar witches. Then they explain you some tactics. This was also quite interesting. They tell you how to expand your army, how to. So there was some interesting stuff. These are the different symbols, the color schemes. So here you have all the different color schemes. You can see as well here from these pictures the meters. They have really improved a lot since this period of time. Okay, all were out of proportion, right? Big hands, big heads, small bodies. Here you have all the different color schemes. So they don't even put the name of the cabal of the different cabals we have here. I think are here, right? With that the bloody. What's the bloody claw and I don't know how it's translated there. But here we have all the different names. So these are names and these are different skins, but they are not related, to be fair. How to paint, very limited paint splatter, and some advices on painting. So this is really our painting books from the period of time. We did not have internet, we were very limited access. And the funny thing here is telling you how to do bases, and there were 2 methods, right? Goblin green, PBA glue, and this type of sand that was sold by Games Workshop, or you can put the sand and then do Goblin green on top. So you see, this was the heavy metal of the time. I like a lot. I'm missing the Archon on jet bike on river. This was an option in the past. So the Archon, although he looks very limited, okay. Okay, so you were able to take equipment, and in equipment there was the river as part of the equipment, right? So you were able to put a jet bike on your Archon, and you had an Archon on a jet bike. It was part of the options. So you were paying 35 points to put the Archon on a jet bike. So this is something that this some things that have disappeared over time. If there is no miniature, it's not existing. Here we have some conversions on other paint jobs, some heavy metal, and yeah, here we see more pictures. You can see that the size of the armies were quite small. Another interesting thing, look like the picture where we have a desertic background or battlefield. They are using the transparent bases, the flyer transparent bases, to avoid to have the contrast of this green thing against the desertic. I don't know why all the 90s, 80s and 90s we were doing these terrible bases, but you can see they were really bad looking bases at the best times. And then we go to a little bit of background, right? They talk about the Dark Eldar and they tell you what are the different weapons, what are the, I don't know how these are called, the crystal weapons, I don't know how it's called in English. How are the different, the heavy weapons and the specialist weapons, where we have the destructor and so on. And then we had the special characters. Okay, we have Asdrubal Becht, and you had to ask permission to put this guy on the battlefield to your opponent, so you were not able to put it. Curious thing here is Asdrubal Becht, okay, was a vehicle. Okay, you were not able to put him without his vehicle. He was always on the throne of destruction. Okay, and this is why you have, and was a vehicle with armor 14th that is very strong. It's like a Land Rider, right? If you have, it's like having 8 wounds and AP and armor 2. Okay, so sorry, 8 wounds, 18 toughness 8. Okay? It is like having toughness 8 and armor 2+. Okay, of course it was resisting less. Here we have Kuelak, Archon of an Archon here, Kuela Labil. We had Lilith Hesperax. This was the old artwork of her. And yeah, here we have again another picture of Asdrubal. We have Dvadzar. This was the first. Urien Rackard. And we have the Decapitator of the Mandrakes. So the Mandrakes had also a special character. And then we had here what's called this a scenario, right? And you can see, and then we have a little bit more, a short history of fluff to read. Not too much fluff. You can see that was really a lot of rules and a lot of information here. And the fluff was mixed from time to time. Okay, so here they tell you what is the explanation, what is each type of unit, and when you have the Asdrubal back, they will telling you who is this guy. Okay, it was explained there. These were all the rules, so you can imagine those. Okay, so and this was the picture. So this is how 3rd edition books look like, and then from there we jump to this, just to give a flavor. Okay. For us, when we saw this for the first time, was really amazing. Okay, when we have seen the new, you can imagine how Urien Rackard have changed from this. Okay, the previous incarnation, I think is somewhere here. Is this one? This is Urien Rackard here. Okay, this was the previous miniature. I have this miniature. If you have seen my army showcase, you will see this miniature. And this was the new Urien Rackard. Okay? The Incubis have changed a lot. Here we see. So this was the 3rd edition codex, but still 3rd edition codex you can see, 3rd edition, sorry, 6th edition codex is still a lot of black and white, right? It was not full color, soft cover, so the books really have improved a lot. And this is what we're talking here. Let's see if we can find the date, because to be fair, too long in this hobby to remember the dates. 2010. So this is not that old. It's only 10 years old. Okay, compared to this one that is 20 years old. So we had to play for 11 years without a single change on the rules for the Dark Eldar. Okay, so this is why when they released that, we were super excited. This is more the structure of the modern codex, where we have all the background at the beginning, then we have the rules, and the thing I want to share you. So here we have the rule. This is a background mixed with rules, something that they don't do anymore. This was very common in 6th, 4th, I think was in 5th and 6th edition was very common to do this type of things. You have here part of the rules, okay, and this was a pain when we were playing, right? So you are playing rivers, okay, you have here all the description, but you don't have the rules, so you have to come here to see the rules. So you were all the time doing like that to see, so to the point that it was quite yeah, disappointing. It's much better now that we have all the rules just in one spot. Okay, but to be fair, then you had to memorize what all this war gear was giving to them, because some war gear was explained here and some other war gear was explained here on the weapons or on other parts. So it was really a little bit of headache, this type of codex layout. Not the best. Mixing background with rules, what is not the best that you can do. Okay. Here we had the new image of the Scourges. The Mandrakes also changed with this codex. The Incubi, all the lineup changed, right? Is like jetpacks also improve a lot. And then we have here, and the thing I want to share is we still have all the Talos also make a big change. You can see how goofy it was before. But I want to go now. We had then we had here as a character the Baron Santhonix that disappeared later on. Lilith Hesperex has always been there. Kera Duak I think also disappeared now. Yeah, all this most of them have disappeared. The Banzar is still there. Lady Mal is out. Urien Rakar is in. And here we have Asdrubal Elbek, and the big thing they make with Asdrubal Elbek is that they change the rules. So you were able to take Asdrubal Elbek on foot. And then he was in his Dice of Destruction. Okay. And then is what I was explaining, all the rules were in the war gear, so you have to really like today, but you can see then we had all the equipment also explained here. So you can imagine that all this equipment that you use in the Terminators is not explaining the Terminators description. You have to go to the war gear and see what the Terminator armor does, and see then what each weapon does, and so on, so on, so on. So I was not fan of this layout, but to be fair, I was not complaining at the time because I was so used to that I was playing with this layout. And here we see. I don't think we see in 7th edition was 7th. The next codex I think was 7th. They did some. I think they put the void. They released some miniatures that they did not have. Because here we have, for example, what I want to explain. In these codexes we still have miniatures that they did not have. So or profiles without miniatures is what I was trying to say. Okay, so. First of all, the Razor Wing and the Void Bomber were a heavy support, still heavy support in this moment, in this period of time. And for the Void Raven Bomber, we did not have miniatures, so the miniature only come when the codex was re-edited in 7th. I think if it was 6th or was 5th edition. But yeah, for sure, from here to this codex, we had to wait more than 10 years, 12 years. Okay, so this is what I want to share here, just to give a little bit of show of what and how Dark Eldars have changed. I still have a lot of miniatures from this period of time, so you can see the rivers have changed completely. Okay. All the aesthetics have changed. You know, we'll put you these pictures. This is the Talos. So this is Uriel Rackard. Okay, you can see this is the heavy metal of this time. Okay, you can see also heavy metal have evolved a lot. I think today most of the painters I think can reach this level of heavy metal. At least the level of heavy metal that we had in this codex, okay? I had the feeling they have much better paint jobs in other codecs. So that's all what I want to share here. I will finish in this page. I think it's the most interesting one of the most interesting pages, so you can see really what was the miniature style of the Dark Eldar and how they were looking like. So please give a like if you have liked this video, share if you think other people can be interested and will like this type of Blast from the Past videos from Warhammer 40,000. I will do also some on fantasy, like for Age of Sigmar makes no sense because it's too new. But I still have some material from fantasy that I have not shared in this channel. So let me know, what do you think? Do you like these videos showing some past codexes? And yeah, and as usual, I just want to thanks a lot for watching my videos, for supporting me. Give a like, please, and see you again later. Bye.